The best place to see the stars is to get out of the city. But why can't we see them here in our city at night, Dad? Because of light pollution, son. All these lights from all the houses, streets, and cars prevent us from seeing the beautiful stars in our Milky Way. I wonder what the Milky Way looks like. Just wait a little longer, son. Wow, Dad. How many stars are up there? A lot, son. Billions of stars. They are constantly spinning and shining. We are looking at the Milky Way, which is one among billions of others out there. Why is it called the Milky Way, Dad? Is it made from milk? Is that how our galaxy was created, Dad? Was milk involved in any way? No, son. Everything we see in this universe came from a big explosion that happened a long time ago. There was a lot of dust that started spinning and came together to form stars, planets, and galaxies. We don't know what made the explosion happen or why. We just saw an expanding universe and made a conclusion that this was what happened. What is a conclusion, Dad? Oh, a conclusion is an idea that you reach based on some observations you make. So, when we see your toys scattered on the floor everywhere, it means you did not pick them up and put them where they belong. So the conclusion is the toys were not picked up. I'll pick up the toys when we go back home, Dad. The galaxy looks amazing. I wonder how it smells. Let's imagine we have a galaxy-sized nose, with each nostril measuring 50,000 light-years across, and we took a galactic whiff. Most likely, we will smell a sweet scent with a hint of alcohol. I like sweet smells. What will happen to all these stars, planets, and galaxies, Dad? Well, some of the stars will explode, then form black holes in a process called supernova. Others will shrink to form red dwarfs, and others will become neutron stars. It all depends on the size of the original star. So, are black holes actually holes that lead to another world, Dad? No, son. They are called black holes because light cannot escape their gravity, but in reality, they are massive objects that will capture anything that comes close enough. There is a supermassive black hole in the center of every galaxy, including the Milky Way. Will this black hole eat all the stars and planets in our galaxy, Dad? Only if they are close enough, son. Space is huge, and as long as we are far enough from a black hole, we are safe. Phew. Can we reach one of these stars one day, Dad? Maybe one day, son. But with our current technology, it will take us about 70,000 Earth years to reach our closest neighbor star. The Sun is our closest star. However, there is another nearby star that is about 4.25 light-years away and is called Proxima Centauri. What is a light-year, Dad? It's a measure of space distance, son. Because space is so big, we measure it in how far the light will travel in one Earth year. That will be around 6 trillion miles. So, we need about 70,000 years to reach Proxima Centauri? That is a very long time, Dad. We can't live that long to reach that star. That is true, son. However, we have to keep trying. That is what I do when I go to work. What do you do at work, Dad? I am an astronaut, son. I fly space missions to the space station and do science experiments. That is cool, Dad. Tell me more, please. Well, son, I went to college to study and learn how to fly planes. Then I joined the space program and learned how to pilot space shuttles. Is it like when I fly my drone around and control it with its wireless controller, Dad? Very similar, son. A space shuttle and a rocket are bigger than your toy drone, and they have enough space to sit 4 or 5 people. The commander, which is the name of the pilot on these space vehicles, controls how and where the shuttle is going. That sounds like a lot of work, Dad. Why do we need to go to space anyway? It looks cool from down here. Isn't it dangerous to go to outer space? I read there is no air and no gravity in space. It is a challenge to go to space, son. However, we need to explore the other worlds around us. We have already gone to the moon, and we plan to send astronauts to Mars one day. What's so special about Mars, Dad? It is a rocky planet like Earth. However, it has no water, and we can't breathe its air. We want to know if we can someday occupy it and have a station there that we can use to go to other planets. What is that light, Dad? Is it a shooting star?
No, son.
That is the International Space Station. We are lucky to see it on our trip this evening. It looks like it is moving really fast, Dad. How high is it? It's about 220 miles up, and it is moving at about 17,500 miles per hour so as not to fall down to Earth or wander in space. But why doesn't the space station stay still in space, Dad? Why is it following Earth? So we can go back to Earth when we want. We don't want to be stuck in space, son. It is dark, cold and there are no outhouses. What do you do in the space station, Dad? Science experiments, son. We try to see how plants and animals live in near-zero gravity and whether they can survive and for how long. We also try to see how low gravity affects our bodies. How does it feel when you are up there, Dad? It feels like you are upside down and floating all the time. Because there is very little gravity up there. Our blood goes to our head more than normal. On Earth, when we stand up, gravity pulls our blood and body fluids down. I'm getting sleepy, Dad. Sounds good, son. Let's call it a night and go to sleep. Dad, wake up. I had a dream last night. Good morning, Adam. What was your dream about? It was about space, Dad. I went on a space trip to a planet that is outside of our solar system. I was an astronaut. We were able to travel very fast and arrived at a planet orbiting a sun like ours. The planet looked like Earth and had about the same amount of land and water. The land was green and full of life. I flew around the planet before I landed. There were dinosaurs there, still living and roaming around. There were cities and light and creatures were flying around by themselves or in vehicles. Very interesting, son. What kind of creatures were they? Some were walking on 4 legs, others on 2. They breathed from their backs, others from their chests, and could eat and drink while breathing, just like sharks. They could breathe air and underwater. Some had feathers and fur, others had hair, and others had scales like fish. Were you able to talk to them, son? Yes, Dad. They made squeaks and noises like dolphins, birds, and monkeys here on Earth, but they used a device to translate their language to mine. Did you ask them to take you to their leader? Yes, Dad, I did. They said they don't have a leader. There was plenty of food for everyone and everything. They helped each other and did not need a leader to tell them what to do. But what happens when someone makes a mistake or hurts someone else? They were wearing things like watches that beeped when something went wrong. These watches explained what went wrong and how to fix it. They followed the watch instructions, and everyone was happy. What did they eat? There were plants and trees everywhere. If someone wants to eat, they just reach out, pick something, and eat it. Were they surprised to see you? Yes, they were, Dad. They thought we would not be able to reach them so soon. Wait, son. Did they know we exist? They did, Dad. I asked them why they did not try to reach out to us. They said we did not have the same peaceful life they have, so they were not interested in reaching out. They said they had enough food and didn't need anything else. How come they have dinosaurs there? I asked them about the dinosaurs, and they said their planet was never hit by a meteor, so dinosaurs still roam around over there. Do they know of other worlds in their solar system? They do, Dad. They have a neighboring planet that is about the same distance as the moon to Earth. Other creatures live on that planet, and they visit each other. Do they have spaceships? They do, Dad, but they stay within their solar system most of the time. If they decide to go to outer space, it is just to learn about other civilizations and worlds, but they don't interact with other species outside of their solar system. That was an amazing dream, son. I hope you will become an astronaut one day. I hope so too, Dad. Can't wait.